Hello everyone, Alistair Gold here. I honestly have no words. I do have words. I have lots of words. But in this exact moment, I'm just struggling to comprehend Tottenham Hotspur. I've said it so many times and I will probably say it for many, many, many years to come if it doesn't see me off this mortal coil. Tottenham Hotspur, what a club. What's happened is Juventus have been docked 15 points following an investigation into the club's past transfer dealings, and that's come through the Italy's Football Federation, which is the FIGC. Originally, they were acquitted in an investigation in April 2022, and the investigation concerned revenues from player registration rights. Essentially, Juventus were accused of fixing their balance sheets by artificial gains from club transfers. It's quite a complicated thing. There's talk in the investigation about allegations that values were inflated, things like this. That's what it all was. But that was they were acquitted originally, and it was reopened December 2022. And this kind of process was part of appeal to try and get the original, charges brought back against them. The acquittal revoked, essentially. So as it came out, the verdict was that it should stand, this revocation, is that the right word? The acquittal. Juventus has been docked 15 points. Various members of staff have been handed bans, and among them, Fabio Paraticic, who you might know because he's Tottenham's managing director of football. So the sanctions that the FIGC's Court of Appeal have dispersed to him are a 30-month temporary ban from carrying out any activities within the Italian Football Federation, and they've requested for an extension within UEFA and FIFA for that. So that means currently it's anything to do with, that would run through the Italian Football Federation. But obviously, if UEFA and FIFA agree to extending it wide, globally, does what it says on the tin. It would be everything. Juventus have announced that they're going to appeal. They're obviously everything to do with them. So we shall see. I'm intrigued to see what Tottenham put out, if anything. It's a difficult one because obviously all of this happened before, or alleged to have happened before, Paraticic arrived at the club. So technically whether they have to give a comment, I don't know. Whether it's just something personally he has to put out there, I'm not sure. But like I say, if by the end of this video that arrives, any comment or anything, I shall let you know. But yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what UEFA and FIFA do. And then obviously we'll know from there exactly how this affects. Because Perisich did a bit of a stinker. He did. You'll have heard me praise Perisich a lot going forward. You know, I think, what was it, 8 assists? I think in terms of that, he's been a really good free transfer, honestly, he really has. And I'm sure behind the scenes as well, he's been a kind of a big driving kind of voice of experience in a dressing room. However, I think it's fair to say that defensively, the Premier League has probably proved to be one of his most tougher leagues to adapt to. Obviously, he's a bit older as well, so he may have lost a slight yard of the pace. But I do find that whenever he comes up with an attack against an attacker with even a modicum of pace, he struggles. And this was why, kind of part of my reasoning for not understanding why people were so kind of, I have to say, abusive to Sessegnon, that I saw online as well. More so criticising the decision before the game, because for me, he's always picked Sess in the big games, and it is because of that bit of extra pace that he has over Perisich in dealing with these faster players. I know, obviously, it's not going to work all the time, but the only difference between the February game and this one was Sessegnon. That starting 11. Sess played really well. He had a very tactically disciplined game, and he got a lot of praise afterwards from Conte as well. So that's why he will play. Just Perisic is a nightmare with Mahrez. Honestly, he will have gone to bed that night having nightmares about Riyad Mahrez, because every time Mahrez went at him, pretty much, he beat him. First goal, he just kind of breezed past him like he wasn't there. Second goal, he got in behind him, didn't need to head the ball across. It was kind of poor tracking or picking him up from Perisic as well. And then the third one was just a complete kind of bodge up from Perisic. It was like trying to take the ball away. He got it stuck under his foot, got tackled, and Mahrez just ran up and fired it in at the near post, which shouldn't have gone in as well. And then, of course, Perisic had the big chance at the other end where it's a difficult one. It's one of those we just tried to get it on target. You know, they were all at sea, the City defence. I think it was Kulusevski got to the byline, pulled it back. It went all the way to the back post. And he just tried to get it on target. I'm trying to remember who it hit now, whether it was Rico Lewis. I'm trying to remember who it was now. But it hit a City player and bounced and hit the post. And yeah, that was a big, big moment. And pretty much not long after City's third goal, Conte hooked him. He went off Perisic and Cesc replaced him. Yeah, it wasn't Perisic's day, but he wasn't alone. I did think Hugo is difficult. The spotlight was really on him. And first half, I thought, oh, you know, he made a terrific low save. It was a really strong-wristed save. Came out to deny Haaland and a one-on-one really well. And it was like, okay, all right, excellent. We're kind of fighting back against the critics. And then he had an iffy moment just before the break when he kind of rushed out, missed a cross, I think it was, coming in. I'm trying to remember, it was a set piece. I think it was a cross. And Haaland headed it over. So fortunately, nothing came of it. But it almost was a bit of a precursor for what was to come. I mean, I'm less... He got a lot of flack for the second goal. I'd say I'd be more annoyed at the third goal. Second goal, he kind of came out, tried to get a connection on the ball and didn't really get enough on it. It was during a bit of a scramble. It's just always quite difficult for keepers. But the third goal for me, you shouldn't be beating at your near post. Whether there's a little deflection or whatever, that ball should not be squeezing between you and your post. I thought that was one of those where it's basic goalkeeping gone a bit wrong.